This is #Africa. Well, amid Southern Africa's worst drought in years, Zimbabwean food stock has been falling fast. But now the water supply could complicate that even further. Families are trekking long distances to open wells to take their chances with dirty water.
Amid Zimbabwe's worst drought in years, Abraham Kalavangila and his family have given up waiting for water to return to their taps. Instead, they trek out into fields of wilting maize to take their chances with untreated water from an unsanitary open well.
We have no option. This water is dangerous. As you can see, just check. Someone did his rubbish here. There's nothing that we can do, you see. But we still have to, because we need some water to use at home.
He and his sons carry the water home in buckets to Kalavangila's wife, Rumbazai.
We boil the water to purify it from germs, and we are able to use it for drinking and cooking.
She says sometimes there are organisms in the unpurified water, and that your body itches when you bathe in it. The shortage of water exacerbates an economic crisis in Zimbabwe, in which supplies of essentials such as fuel, medicine and food have also been running dry. Kalavangila lives in the country's second city, Bulawayo, where the water is turned off for more than half a week to cope with a sharp fall in reservoir levels. The city has decommissioned 2 of its dams after water fell below pumping levels. And Bulawayo's Director of Engineering Services, Simalani Dube, says the remaining 4 are, on average, at just 35% capacity.
Actually, we're projecting that in the next 3 to 4 weeks we might lose the bed there, which is lower now. It's currently sitting just above 10% in terms of capacity.
Authorities say the long-term answer is for Bulawayo to build a new dam 100 kilometres or 60 miles away to draw water from the Zambezi River. But that project, first mooted in 1912 by white colonists and finally started in 2004, is only a third complete.
In East Africa, several countries are battling a widespread locust infestation. Uganda has had to take extra precautions to protect its key earner from decimation.
Uganda has started spraying swarms of desert locusts that invaded over the weekend, a government official said on Monday, in a bid to tackle the major threat to livestock and key crops such as coffee. The plague of locusts has already caused extensive damage in several countries, including Somalia, Ethiopia and Kenya, and entered northeastern Uganda on Sunday. Last week, Dominique Bergeon of the UN's Food and Agricultural Organization said some of the swarms are as large as 2,400 square kilometers or more than 900 square miles.
When we know that for just a square kilometre, 35 to 40 million of desert locusts can eat as much as 35,000 people, we realise that a swarm of this size, 60 kilometres by 40 kilometres, can eat as much as 80 million people. It gives you a sense of the scale of the crisis we are facing, and we need to address it immediately.
Uganda's Commissioner for Crop Protection at the Ministry of Agriculture said motorised and manual sprayers and a drone had been deployed. Stephen Bayantwale said that if their movement goes unchallenged, the locusts are expected to move further south, threatening fields of crop including coffee, rice and corn. Coffee is one of Uganda's major exports and a key earner of foreign currency.
Meanwhile, delays to the completion of Africa's largest wind farm at Kenya's Lake Turkana have led to Google's plan to buy a 12.5% stake to be cancelled.
Google's plan to buy a 12.5% stake in Africa's largest wind farm has been cancelled, Danish wind turbine maker Vestas said on Monday. The 310-megawatt facility at Lake Turkana in Kenya was initially set for completion in 2017, after which Google had committed to buy the stake. Instead, it only became operational last year. A spokesman for Vestas said that delay led to the cancellation of the deal and that the company is now in talks with other potential buyers. Google was not immediately available for comment. The wind farm is intended to reduce energy costs and move Kenya closer to its ambitious goal of 100% green energy by the end of the year.
In North Africa, the United Nations Children's Fund has warned that nearly 5 million children will need humanitarian assistance this year in the Central Sahel region after a recent surge in violence.
A surge in violence across the Central Sahel region has left hundreds of thousands more children needing humanitarian assistance, the UN's Children's Fund has warned. Children like this 13-year-old girl who was forced to flee her home in Burkina Faso.
7 months ago, we had to flee from our village because armed groups arrived. They killed and took away some of the residents. We got scared, so we fled and took refuge here in Kaya.
UNICEF said nearly 5 million children will need assistance this year, up from 4.3 million. It reported that a spike in armed conflict and insecurity in Burkina Faso, Mali and Niger has also seen children attacked, abducted or recruited into armed groups. More than 3,000 schools across the countries have also been closed or are non-operational because of the violence, the agency said. Security has deteriorated dramatically across the region over the past year as jihadist groups stepped up their attacks. UNICEF said it is appealing for $208 million for its Central Sahel humanitarian response in 2020.
Well, before the break, let's now take a look at other news making headlines across the African continent. Malawi's Rastafarian community celebrating after a recent court ruling in the country. And we've got the details right after this short break.